Hey guys, so today I'm gonna just kind of go into stuff about how the Bible says that the love of money is the root of all evil, and I'm also gonna be giving different examples and going into detail about stuff. The first one I notice is when you talk about things like the fake news, right? There's a lot of corruption in the mainstream media and the news industry when it comes to certain topics and topics and oftentimes those topics um, the mainstream media has a lot of agendas and different things that it's trying to push, a lot of false narratives, and the things that really go for or like seem to be in favor of the narratives that they're trying to push is is often what might be construed or manipulated or twisting the truth to match whatever they want to push, right? For example, if you have um, for example, like say you're a teacher, and teachers they teach and they try to teach and to to go over all these different things to almost because it's their classroom and they want to teach the kids about this thing, right? And so they have an agenda, right, over a set period of months and different things that they want to do and different topics that they're going to try to talk about to really to to influence the children, influence the young one, right? Or you have yeah. So that's just one of the main reasons why it's corrupt because they talk about things that have to do with what they're trying to talk about, just like teachers talk about subjects that have to do with whatever subject that they're currently trying to teach within a given set period of time, whether it be today or a certain hour. And so the media does the same thing, except not really teaching to edify people, but to amass control and manipulation of people. And the different things that they cover and try to talk about further, and they feed, in a sense, they feed into that narrative of what they're trying to push. And you see this a lot of times with Hollywood and with the government and the corruption of government and with with a lot of Hollywood and the government because with Hollywood, right? With Hollywood, you have these big, influential people who they have a lot of following and a big platform, and a lot of people really respect these people. You know, you have the MCU people, you have um, people from the DC universe, you have you know Disney, Fox, HBO, whatever, Hollywood, the production and the production of movies and TV shows, and like the CW channel and all these different channels, and because they have a big following and a big platform, they are often targeted to take on this certain mindset because a lot of people a lot of people will stand with these celebrities on what they believe in because there's so many people that love these celebrities and really value their opinion and have high respects for them. And so that is a gateway into what they're trying to push because they realize that they can mass influence these big name people to push a certain agenda to get multiple people to think the same way. And think about it, when you have an agenda to push, right? You want to you want to really find the really influential places and pieces to really to make the most out of the opportunities that you're given to push it, right? So when you find certain things that come up or there's certain things that happen, right? And then you post about it, and then you really capitalize on that, and you capitalize it, and then that influences the people like us who are who maybe aren't in Hollywood or don't have the same view, and they tend to and they try to get you to think a certain way because you see all these different celebrities, everyone's thinking the same way. So they try to get you to think the same way and make you feel like you have to play along. Otherwise, you won't be liked by the people that you really admire, whether it be you have an idol or a role model, someone that you look up to. And also with the mainstream media, right? You hear so many people listen to the mainstream media, and they tell you, what's happening, right? And people listen to it because they want to stay informed, right? They want to stay informed and stay up to date with the latest stuff, so that it doesn't seem like they're hiding under a rock. But anyway, they try to tell you these different things, and they capitalize it to really get you to feel a certain way about an individual or a cause or a certain side or a group of people, whatever. And again, all of this feeds into the agenda, the narrative, what people are trying to push. And every little chance that they get, they make sure to make the most out of every opportunity by, again, capitalizing on what can really spark something, right? Can really spark something in people's hearts or to want to see change, right? And so they come looking like they're the good guys, like the angel of light, right? Because Satan comes as an angel of light, just like in the Bible. And so they come as angel of light to make you think that they're on the good side, right? So then, most people not knowing any better, they go along with that because they seem like, okay, they're just trying to do good, right? And they can't see what's behind a sort of mask, right? What's behind a mask? Because you typically have a mask when you want to hide something, right? You see different movies, like for example, I don't know, V for Vendetta. I'm not sure if you guys heard of it, but there's this guy and he hides behind a mask, and then he goes around and doing a lot of crazy stuff. And it's because he doesn't want to be seen, but he wants to just do it, right? Right? So there's a certain mask, a certain image that they try to push, or they try to get you to believe that they are, and then they end up tricking you into calling the good guys evil and the evil guys good. The people who really care about the lives of other people, or who really care about the country and people, they often try to demonize them. But then people who just really don't really care, but then they act like they care, they call that the good people, right? And being real and fake, there's real people, and there's fake people. The fake people, right? When something's a fake, it's obviously not the real thing. So when you call, the fake, right? It's a fake, right? You have fake dollar bills, trying to get you to pretend. The people why people use fake dollar bills, or otherwise known as counterfeits, is because they have a lot of something, so that they can just get away with stuff, and that they can really start to do whatever they want with that fake money. But the reason why that dollar bill is called fake and why it's called a counterfeit is because it's not real. It's made to look like the real one, but it's not. And the easiest thing, but what makes it easy is that with counterfeits, with fake stuff, that stuff can be mass produced, and it's easy to replicate because it's fake. And the people and the dollar bills that are fake, they have, it's not really a good quality to them, so it's easy to mass produce because it's not good quality. Versus the real stuff, you actually have to work for the real stuff, and you have to actually work to actually make a living, and not just make stuff, I don't know, in your basement or in a certain room of your house. And so that's what a lot of times they try to do, because there's a lot of fake people out there who aren't real. And people who pretend to care about what's going on, and who pretend to be someone that they're not. And that's the reality, And this isn't judging or anything like that, but it's just the truth. There are people out there pretending to be someone that they're not. And that is oftentimes what gets a lot of people. Is so many people don't know the difference between the real and the fake, or they think that they do, but because they've been fooled into believing that the evil or the bad ones are good and that the good ones are bad, their perception is skewed and messed up and twisted, and so they can't see clearly when other people are trying to tell them what is really happening, because they already have it made up in their mind, and they've already accepted a truth or a certain perspective that other people have pushed on them, who don't have their best intentions at heart. And that's a lot of the time what is the root of it, because of the influence. The mass influence can really cause people to take on a certain perspective, or about how the way that things are. And when we do that, and when they're not good, we get angry, we get angry because something's not right, which, there is like a righteous anger, right? Or like a anger that something isn't right? And we get mad about that, which it's normal, it's healthy, and that's fine, right? And so that's what oftentimes will corrupt a lot of people, is because of their money, and the super fame and the success will corrupt a lot of people, because the mainstream media, they want to make money, right? Which in this world, you need money, but especially with a lot of the mainstream media, not all of it, but a lot of them, they tend to all say the same thing, right? To keep you hooked, to keep you wanting more and more and more, right? To keep you trying to attack certain people, because you think that they need to be told about themselves, and they need to be held accountable, when in reality it's just this hate, and looking for everything, like looking for a reason to hate them, and looking for a reason to hate them, and it's just this cycle, this constant cycle of you hear about something, and then you get mad, and you get mad, and you get mad, and the media is like tricking you to actually like the ones who don't really care about you, and to hate the ones that actually do, because so much of their intentions aren't pure. They aren't pure. And it's kind of like with drug dealers, right? Drug dealers, they oftentimes they have a substance, right? And that substance that keeps people hooked, keeping people coming back for more and more, stuff like nicotine and cigarettes, it keeps people hooked and addicted and coming back for more and more and more and more. And that's how you generate income and revenue, and that's how you keep a steady flow of money, is because you have to keep the people coming back for more and more. And it also ties into what I said about the people coming back for more and more drama, and keeping people hooked, and a reason to keep people hooked and informed and updated. Because if there's no reason for them to come, if everything's just all fine and dandy, then then there's no reason for people to really be informed because nothing bad is happening, or there's nothing that needs addressing, or nothing that needs to happen. But then you have, right? And then a lot of that evil, right? Because of what you hear can cause you to do certain things, right? But sorry, going back to what I said about coming back for more and more and more, right? You have the news, right? And there's drama, and people are trying to stay up to date on, what happened with this, because there's a cycle of always trying to focus on the bad or the negative, and that's why so many people don't like hearing about it, because it can drain you. It can drain you of it can really just drain you, because all you're hearing about is negativity, and if there's no positivity, but then all the negative and the drama, right? That's why you see with so many people like reality shows, right? Because with reality shows, there's usually a lot of drama, and a lot of that drama is staged, and it's manipulated, and it's set up because people are, a lot of times, they're curious, and they're attracted to drama. Ooh, what's next? And it keeps people hooked, right? It keeps people hooked like nicotine in a cigarette. It keeps people hooked on what's next, what's happening with this, what happens with this. And then now you feel the reason to stay informed. Now you feel a reason, right, to keep coming back for more, because it's like you want to stay informed of what's happening, right? But then, just like how a cigarette isn't really good for you, going back for more and all this hate and division, it can really mess with your inside, with your heart, and holding on to this anger and this hate and all these grudges against people. It can hold on to it can really influence it. It can really start to affect you physically and like with your health. And again, that's not good for you either. So this addictive substance, right, that is used in the dealers, the people dealing you the news, the people dealing you stories, people giving you, right, people giving you drugs, just like how people give you drugs, people give you stories, they give you up-to-date information, and there has to be reason to keep coming back for more and for more and for more, right? And that's how you keep the revenue. Well, same thing with here, right? The addictive substance, right? There's drama, and there's always a lot of stuff going on right now. And that's how you keep people coming back for more and for more. What's the latest drama, right? And so, in people's perspectives and a lot of the way that they think is controlled, again, by what they see, what they always hear, right? And so many people aren't really aware of the corruption in the media. They're not aware of it. And they think that, that the media is just fine and dandy a lot of the times. And they trust whatever the media says, because on the outside, it seems very legitimate, right? It seems clean. It seems very legitimate. And this also goes back into being fake, right? You put on an image, and people like what they see. So like, okay, I like what I see. I like what I see. So I want to hear from this person, what they might, their perspective, what they might have to say. And it's like, wow, this person must be a pretty credible and reputable source of information, so I should probably take them for their word, that they're not trying to lie, right? But then if you see, like, behind the scenes, right, just like, and again, this kind of goes back to being fake, right? With being fake, right? With being fake, just like with the counter, with the dollar bill, right? It's meant to look real, and then it fools people, into just taking that money, and then taking that money and just trusting that money is real, and then putting it in, the cash register, where the cashier, where they just keep putting it in and putting it in, right? Same thing. Because the people give you something, they give you because it looks good, right? Because it looks good on the outside, that doesn't mean that it's actually real. So one method of the dollar bill, of to know if it's real or fake or not, is to put it to the light, right? To the light, right here. See, I currently have a light here that makes me light up, right? And when things are lit up, we can see different things, and different things that will be harder to see in the dark, right? Which is why, right, if we're always in the dark about stuff, and it's like we don't know where to go, and we're always looking to the person that we can at least see, that person could be leading us straight off of a cliff, or straight into a dungeon, or into lava, because we can't see. We can't see clearly. We're not holding up the information to the light, to the truth. And because of that, we're just taking it in. But then what ends up happening is the less that we hold up the truth to the light, the less that we check our information, right? Checking the information is kind of like holding up that dollar bill to the light, where we're being fed, right? Now, who knows? Like, how many people can now have fake dollar bills, and then now you see mass chaos. You see mass chaos everywhere, because with each thing that we were being given, we didn't hold up to the light. We didn't check it. We didn't verify it before taking it in and trusting it. And then now, so many people are getting in trouble. So many people, and then now you have all this chaos, and everybody has fake dollar bills now. Everybody has money that isn't even legitimate. And then now you see so many people getting in trouble. So many people just getting busted and caught and in trouble, when they had no clue that what they were being given wasn't even legitimate. And then now that spreads to cities, streets, people all over the place. And then now you have everybody with a certain perspective, right? And that's kind of like with the same information. People don't check their information. They don't check that what they're being fed, or like what they're being told is even legitimate. And then because of that spreads everywhere. And then now it's like, we don't even know how we got here, how we got to this place of people just getting in trouble, or for reasons that they don't even know. And then now it's like we're all in some sort of confusion, some state of confusion, be confused of like why things are this way or that way. All because we didn't hold up the dollar bills to the light to look for certain parts on the dollar bill that either are or aren't supposed to be there, to really double check and make sure that the information that we have is legitimate. And this is why And this is why information, knowledge, this is why misinformation is so dangerous, because it can end up creating something that is going to be hard to come back from, hard to get over. And now you see, right, with a lot of the different things that people are hearing, how a lot of that, right, because we're a lot of the root of evil is money. Or even you could even think of it as, obviously being greedy with money, or being just so obsessed with money, and then not worrying about what you're actually doing. And then now you have, again, people hearing about it. So then it's kind of like a plague, like all the fake dollar bills being spread, kind of like a plague. And then now you have so many people in the dark about stuff because they're trusting something that looks good on the outside, but inside it's not actually like healthy, or it's not organic, pure, raw truth. And then because people take in all this information, they it causes them to want to act out, because they're so sick and tired of all of this nonsense and chaos, and they're so sick of the wrong of what they think is the wrong people being in positions of power, that they're so sick of it that it causes them to act out. And it's just overwhelming, and they want to see change. They want to do something about it. Then they try to use their right, their constitutional rights of freedom of assembly, freedom of speech, to see justice done. Just like with the dollar bills, because it's so crazy and so chaotic, and it's overwhelming, and it's just so shocking, and it was unexpected. Now people are in a state of panic. Well, I don't want to be. Now I don't want to be in trouble. I don't want to get arrested. So then it causes them to act out because they're afraid. Because they're afraid of what's happening. Because they're afraid of the wrong people. It causes them to act out. And then, because they're so sick and tired of stuff being done, it causes them to hate the people who are supposedly supporting what they view as evil. Of what they view as evil to what they view as evil, and they see people supporting it. And then that's where it gets to all this conflict and chaos and arguments and conflicts and fights. Social media, because both sides want to see good. Both sides want, for most people, both sides usually want good, what's good. But then because of misinformation, because of what we hear and people not checking stuff, you create all this chaos, and then now people's perspectives are flipped because Again, they didn't check, they were being told. And that's where the influence comes from, the influence, and people being tired and so sick of what's happening that they're mad at the people who support what they call evil again, because they want it to stop. Then when all this evil comes about, they're sick and they're tired of it. But then they don't realize that the same people that so many people are voting for are the ones causing a lot of this. And again, it's like it's like the Spider movie, the latest Spider-Man movie, Far From Home. Mysterio, right? On the outside, he looks to be a good guy because he has a fancy suit and he looks cool and he's fighting off monsters. But then it's revealed later in the movie, and before that, Spider-Man wants to help him. Like, everybody likes this new Mysterio guy, but then later on, he's revealed to be the cause of what's happening, the cause of it all, the cause of the monsters. He's the one who creates the monsters. He created the same monsters that he's trying to fight against. Then you also see with Iron Man in the MCU, in the second Avengers movie, Age of Ultron, Iron Man created the main threat, the main movie, or created the main big bad, the main threat, the main antagonist of the movie. And then now they're trying to fight against it. He created something that destroyed a whole city because the Avengers created it. The Avengers created it, then look what it causes, and then, yeah. But more specifically with Mysterio and the Spider-Man, Mysterio wants to be seen as the good guy. He wants fame, he wants attention, he wants to be known. But then the root of why he's actually doing it is to have a cover, an excuse for him to do whatever he wants, because people respect him. People won't really consider him when they're looking around at all the chaos, because they view him as a hero, because that's how he repeatedly portrays himself. Misinformation is probably one of, if not the biggest, or one of, if not the biggest, threats to us. And I know this is probably the longest video that I've created, but I just felt led to keep going, or I felt like I should keep going. And this was kind of a tough one to really to try to break down and to really explain, but glory to God that I was able to explain it in this way, because, you know, with my own intellect knowledge, this was better put, or better said than anything I could have come up with. Glory to God. And then also, you know, I've talked about the government, right? And, you know, yeah, the influence. And then that's how you get to the evil, right? To the evil, because they focus on a certain part, and then they don't focus on how we actually got there, just like a magician. I love you guys. Hopefully this helped. If you're a non-believer, and you're trying to, or you're starting to think about Christ, I would like to invite you to that. Christ can change your life. He died so that you can have life and life more abundantly. And instead of just living the same old way, doing the same old stuff, And if you want to do that, um, confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead. Really believe in what he died for. Really believe in like in his way of life. Really believe in him as Lord, acknowledging him as Lord, and submitting to that, and really living and walking it out. And you can, and God will end up really transforming and changing your life, changing you, and maybe even those around you through you or through other people, and you'll just see a whole transformation unlike anything you've ever seen before. It's just like when people when they're first a drug addict, but then they go to get help. And I'm not saying that you're a drug addict or anything like that. This is just an analogy to help you understand. And then they go to seek help, and then they're like a completely different person. And Christ makes us a new creation when we're baptized with the Holy Spirit. And Christ can change your life just like he changed my life. I'm a completely different person than who I was. And you can experience what I've experienced and what you're experiencing as far as newness, transformation, wholeness. So if you're new, you want to do that, you can comment below if you want. I would love to talk with you or whatever. And I could try to get back to you because I want to try to help people, and I want to try to get more people like wanting to accept Christ and wanting to be like a force for him, like an agent for him, and really being like a kingdom like soldier or whatever, or agent, just acting in him and really just showing people that they can have a better life than the one that they're living, and that they can experience things that this world can't really offer you. Stay blessed. Bye.